Hello and welcome to Reviews. I um I picked this up on a whim, and I'm just going to say I don't think uh, this book was meant for me, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. Um, I bought this on a lark. As I mentioned in the previous video, we got the Stanley in memoriam thing going on. So they put the title way down here, very, very bottom corner, really small. And this is a number one. That's why I bought it. And when the books were on the shelves, they were kind of stacked up here. You can't really see. This is great, on its own. And my regular comic shop, I know I go to some where they have them all stacked up, on a bookshelf. Mine has the racks. So, it was only like this. And it caught my eye. And when I picked it up, and they only had the Scotty Young cover, which I actually like this cover. It's kind of a cute cover. Um, they only had the variant covers for some reason. If they had the Art Adams one, I would have bought that. I don't even know what it looks like. I'm buying it sight unseen. Um, yeah, totally. I understand it's a variant cover. I think it says here. Well, it says in the book. Um, totally does not really fit the mood of the story. Um, I don't know why they decided to go with this. Um, And like I said, I bought this book sight unseen. I saw the cover, I should have flipped through it, and that's all on me. And the reason why I say this is because it feels like the third act of a story. And maybe it is. I'm not following the um, cosmic side of the Marvel Universe right now. I bought like the first two issues of Immortal Hulk, and it didn't really catch me. Namor just had an issue, like a standalone, a couple weeks ago. I didn't pick that up. Maybe that tied into this. Um, and that's just it. I don't know. This seems like it's an ongoing story. Maybe a whole bunch of things led into it. And if I'm wrong, then fine. I will admit. So yeah, I'm just going to go in and I'll show you what I mean. And of course, we have the Black Pages, the Stanley tribute. Really nice. I really like this. I wonder if that's just going to be for this week or if it's going to be for the rest of the month or next couple weeks. So normally I skip all this stuff, but this bears some. This is really the only kind of introduction we get. Um, Doctor Strange was Doctor Strange from Earth's future, burned his physical body to throw his astral form back in time to contact the immortal Hulk, who came across the body in a barn, what? And recovered the eye of Agamotto from a homeless man. Meanwhile, the Silver Surfer arrived at an impossible cosmic train of planets, hoping to find one life worth saving so Galactus would look elsewhere for sustenance. Before he could depart, his board raced off to rescue Namor the Submariner, who traveled to the planet Voldan to seek reinforcements for his war against the surface. Wait, what? What the hell is going on? Now, it is a quick little summary of, a line or two for each character. Do you remember editor boxes? Where they would put a little thing at the bottom of a page and say, see issue, blah, 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 sign, the editor or what have you. It's a great way to get people to, hey, buy this book for the rest of the story. And that's kind of fallen out of fashion, the way thought balloons have. I really wish they'd bring that part back because I feel like we've jumped into the middle of a story, obviously by this little thing here, and I don't know. It seems to tie in because Namor is at war with the surface world, and it's like, okay, cosmic train, what? Yeah, again, I'm not holding that against the book. I am not holding that against the book. Well, maybe it really needs, hey, check out this issue of this book if you want more. You could have even put it up in here. Doctor Strange and blah blah blah, or in Strange Tales, blah blah blah. I'm just pulling out names. Um, anyway, yeah, so you're going to jump right in. If you haven't read any of this stuff, if you're coming from it from my point of view, I had no idea what was going on. Cosmic train. What? So apparently, this is literally a train. Well, it says even first line. This is the train. You've seen it on the edge of sleepless nights. You know it well. The great engine of planets, a juggernaut of living worlds, hurtling headlong through space. It pulls in new worlds along the way. Takes everything of them that's their own. It takes everything of them that's their own. And when it's drained them dry, it makes fuel of them in its furnace. So I'm like, okay, so it's kind of like a Galactus. Um, if they resist, keep what's theirs, what's important. They end up as fuel anyway. In the end, everything will be fuel for the train. It'd make an excellent metaphor if it wasn't real. And so, yeah, you got this guy who's the conductor, and that's literally his name. This is the conductor, the one who drives the train. It directs the planets and in the furnace, as it has since the first memory. Its labor is endless. Well, maybe that's a metaphor as well. Who can say? I studied medicine, not poetry, though I've found some poetry in existence since. The conductor works on, though it has no will of its own. So it's doing a good part of explaining um, what this thing is. Not what it's about, but it gives you the basics. Um, this is a dead thing. Until recently, it was moving from world to world in a more humanoid form, murdering the conductor's familiars and its mortal servants and facilitators. This was to get a clear run at the conductor itself. Now, sorry, it's hard. The red on yellow is hard for me. Now, this dead thing, this alien ghost, commands the train and sets it on its course. I knew it when it was alive. So, as you know by the medicine, this is Doctor Strange, the future Doctor Strange narrating. And so he reveals who this ghost thing is. Nebulon. Right? Nebulon, yeah. And so the Silver Surfer is there. Now, it's not the Silver Surfer talking. It's the Silver Surfer talking, but Doctor Strange doing the boxes. And the Surfer's climbing up. Do you remember me? This one wields a power inconceivable to man. He had a name once too, Nornrad. Now he is the Silver Surfer. And so, yeah, they know each other, and the Surfer's trying to talk him down. And they have kind of an interesting conversation here. Well, I never wanted to be dead, Surfer. Frankly, I only died out of peer pressure. And there are opportunities in the afterlife if you meet the right people. Business opportunities. Where are you taking the train, Nebulon? The Sol system. The gravitational forces alone will reduce Earth to dust. Over 7 billion souls snuffed out in an instant because I willed it. And so the Surfer is trying to stop him, but he doesn't have his board, which at some point became named Toomey. When did that happen? I missed out on that, but it seems weird for the Surfer, as you'll see in this book, to start referring to his board as Toomey. Um, so Nebulon basically tentacles captures the Surfer, and Strange says the train rolls on and hope is lost. Fortunately, I have a plan. His plan is he appears before the Hulk and explains, I'm a dead man from a doomed future, one where Nebulon succeeded. Now I'm here to create a timeline where my future doesn't happen. And Hulk's like, so blow up the train, problem solved. Well, the thing is, that's what they originally did. And it didn't work out so well. They stopped the train, but not the radiation that was spreading that still decimated Earth. And as Strange says, and that was only the start. Trust me when I say things got a lot worse. I like Hulk's comment here. I'll still survive. True, but you won't enjoy it much. I'll make this simple, Hulk. I destroyed what was left of my Earth to return here, but the spell cost my life too. So Strange has an hour, and he's fading fast to basically save everything, go back in time, and stop this the proper way. And they show us hell. So, as you know, there's business opportunities in hell, and I really like this part. Yeah, as I said, going in, I felt like I was coming into the third act of a movie or a play, and but as I was getting caught into it, I was really liking it. We have these two like cat demons who are talking about their plan. Uh, Let us hope if Earth isn't destroyed, it'll end badly for us. We borrowed 2 million human souls from Mephisto and sold them, so we're rich now. But eventually, Mephisto will want those souls back. As Earth dies, 7 billion of that soul type hitting the market at once, human soul prices crash. We can buy fresh human souls cheap, pay back Mephisto with those, and profit. Uh, yes, I know how to short a soul, brother. And but if Earth doesn't die, we'll owe our own souls 1 million times over. So yeah, that's kind of neat. You get their um, motivation and everything. So yeah, okay, fine. We see why we want to kill the Earth. Um, basically, so these guys could be rich. It seems what this is going down to. And of course, like true cats. And then will we eat their faces? Oh yes, we'll eat all the faces. Because as anyone knows, that's what cats do. You die around them, they'll eat your face. So, as the as the Nebula is telling the conductor, more speed. The Silver Surfer hasn't died yet. His power is weakening. He's separated from his board. And you have Namor now covered in silver, protected by the board, who, as you know, in the opening, rescued him from space, flying out. This is Namor the Submariner, another old acquaintance. He's not normally quite so shiny, but Toomey, the Surfer's board, chose to save him from death in the vacuum of space. It's all kind of coincidental how they all got out here. I have so many questions. The Submariner went to this planet of Atlanteans who somehow are Atlanteans, and he's going to bring him to hell for the war he has on the surface. Why would they be interested for a war on another planet? Okay, whatever. So the Submariner comes up, and Toomey, Namor, Toomey, why Toomey? Keep at him. And Strange says that given how this ends, it's not a good thing, because this is going how he remembers it. But Strange is going to flip the script by having the Hulk go after the cat demons. And, they say, how dare you? This is a place of business, and scratches his face. Yeah, that was a mistake. See, my business is hurting people, and it's hungry work. And I'm like, and yeah, I never thought anyone would eat our faces. Yeah, that's a darker Hulk. They're doing that kind of infected Hulk, and yeah. So, tastes like chicken. So the cat demons, they escape, because they can shed their physical forms and just buy new ones. They are only minor demons. Their physical bodies are no match for you in your current form, and their essence can be put to better use elsewhere. So their essence goes to fuel the train, the cosmic horror space train. And Namor gets knocked off of, I'm not calling it Toomey, he gets knocked off the board. And of course, because of this, loses his protective shielding through the vacuum of space. And so the Surfer has a decision to make. Save Namor, go after Nebulon. Either way, this is not going to work out well. But Strange has the Hulk grab the Submariner, grab the Surfer, throw him at the Submariner, and then starts beating the Nebulon and the conductor with the Surfer's board. And then here something happens weird. The Hulk's threw the Surfer at Namor through space, and Namor says, of course, such an elegant solution. The Surfer and his board are one. So he manages to get Namor to stand on his back and the surfer will fly as the board. And even Namor points out, this is ridiculous. You think so? I consider it sublime. Nah, it's pretty ridiculous. So as the Hulk is bashing the Nebulon-controlled conductor, he's, he's arguing, "Stop hitting me! Violence isn't the answer." And so I'm sorry, I'm kind of laughing at some of this because we have this water planet that maybe it was in the Namor thing. I'm not sure. Ooh, my cat Scratch should be let in. I'm not having her in this video. These poor people. They're Namor's trying to drive them in on a war with the surface world of Earth. Now they're about to be boiled alive because of they're being fed into the train's conductor, into its engine to be burned up, and so Strange goes in and slide my astral form into the macro mind as a conductor. I do not have Nebulon's levels of power. I cannot control them. But if I exert all my will, all my dwindling strength, I can perhaps induce a spasm. The conductor's hand jerks. So then it sends this ice planet, this water planet, careening off into space. So now instead of being baked, it's going to freeze. So Namor is still riding the surfer to this planet to catch up. And, Galactus is too far away, can't hear him. So Namor comes up with a plan. Surfer, can you focus those plan-finding senses of yours on a single person? It'd be easier if I know them, but yes, you have a plan? Of sorts. I'm going to cut out the middleman. So the queen of this water planet is giving a speech. It grows colder. We'd all freeze in a void of space. Then freeze with dignity, curse you, all of you. Now, wouldn't a planet being flung out in that cause some type of worldwide disasters? And anyway, let us go to our graves as Vodani, as the true Atlanteans. So, did they come to Earth? I feel like I missed something, and I wouldn't say I'm an expert on Namor's history, but I don't recall any Vodani here. So Namor comes and says, you dare, he appears and she says, you dare speak of him, the queen's father. You choked him to death in front of me. To even return here, you are regicide, Namor, slayer of kings. And even the surfer's like, you killed her father? Threats to my person are one thing. Threats to my people are another. So Namor's plan is to save the planet. He's going to use the surfer's power to have the surfer take a little bit of Namor's life force, and basically to save it, to recharge, to jumpstart the surfer. Basically a microwave of what Galactus does when he eats a planet. So he offers, the Submariner offers, some of his life force to the surfer. And, I offer it gladly as the king for my people. And, she's not having that because she does not recognize Namor as her king. And, Surfer says, I cannot accept your death, Namor, any death. But if you're willing to sacrifice some life for your people. And she calls him out, you as well, his people, again and again, his people, a culture he has never known, could never understand. And yet, and he paddles, and suddenly we're his people. What does he offer his people? Petulance, arrogance, violence, empty posturing obsequience, insignificance. Yeah, she called him out. She totally called him out. And you, who are you to be the judge of worlds, protected from life in your silver shell? You will not accept death. And so I guess she controls bioenergy, and she is the one who jumpstarts the surfer. And, he's telling her no, and apparently she gives her life. And, but the surfer's jumpstarted. He was able to open a wormhole to move the water planet to basically an orphan star so that it saves the planet. So, in all this time, the Hulk is still fighting with Nebulon and Strange is doing his part of the plan. He's like, "It's over, Nebulon. You've lost. You just don't know it yet." Because basically the plan was when the water planet. Can you hear my cat scratch at the door? I locked her out, and she's still wanting to come in. She really wants to be in this video. But basically, by throwing that planet out of the conductor space, it sets the train off course and ends up missing Earth. So, and because of this, the souls are are due that they borrowed from Mephisto. Mephisto comes to claim it, and yeah, so they've beat Nebulon by basically having Mephisto, um, come for what's due. You remember all those souls that were borrowed, and so Strange, has Mephisto send the Hulk back to Earth, but he can't clear him of the infection. I gotta stop here soon. Um, but yeah, that leaves the Surfer and Namor to go home. I'm gonna stop here. Yeah, this book it's hard to tell if it's like extra size, with the extra kind of cover thing going on. I feel like I missed something. I feel like this is a story that's contained, that started in other books. And I'm wondering if I should go back and look at that Namor one, try and see if the other books are tying into it. Because I have no idea what this train story is all about. And it does have kind of like a sequel hook. It kind of ends on that. This isn't the current Doctor Strange. This is future Doctor Strange, future dead Doctor Strange. And it all revolves around him at the end. And, he was supposed to be dissipating, and yeah, I see what happens to him. I have no idea what's going on in this book. It seems really complex for the plan. It seems like overly complex. While the basis is simple, it seems like it needs a lot of things set up in just the right spots. The art in this is great. I loved the art. The way it changes color palettes, depending on where they're at, like with Hulk and Strange here, and when they go to hell. And yeah, the art is nice. I really like the art. That really helped keep me going in this book. And the story was interesting. Like I said, I liked that hell business deal. The borrowing and short sale of souls. That was cool. I liked that. But it really needed editor notes for a number one, which I imagine this is a one shot. I don't know if it's a one shot or not. Maybe I should look into that. But it needed more. It needed more. How we got to this point. Because it's almost like this series, this book started in media res, and yeah, it brings you up to speed, but it makes you curious about what came before, and that's how you sell other books. You put a note in there, even though they do have a thing in the back here, which talks about Namor's war on the surface continues. Hulk descends into hell. If the other books are out right now, mention them. Promote the other books. Yeah. And if you go to the title page, it does say written by Al Ewing. But then Al Ewing, Chip Zdarsky, Jason, Jerry, Defenders Masterminds. Was this a writer's summit type thing? Yeah. It feels like we're missing something. So how have I talked 25 minutes? At 24 minutes. How? I don't know how that happened. But I could feel it. I could feel I've been talking for 24 minutes. I'm giving this like a 2:30. Because like I said, okay, 2 o'clock. I'll give it a 2 o'clock. The art is nice. The story, what you catch up on, feels like the great, third act. I kind of want to know how the other characters got there. Why is Namor on another planet? When did that happen? Put references, at least, that to other books that this stuff's going on. And that's all I have to say. Yeah, I like the cover. I like the Scotty Young cover. But yeah, I'd give this a 2 o'clock. It wasn't bad, and it does have a sequel hook that makes me kind of want to know what's going to happen if they're going to continue on this. So, like I said, I come in not knowing any background, just knowing who the defenders, the original defenders were, and seeing the book and it caught my eye, and that's really what it's about, right? Trying new things and coming in fresh and seeing if this would have appealed to a new reader. And now in the days of the internet, I can go and look this up, but that's not going to sell them. That's not going to sell books for Marvel. So anyway, 2 o'clock, that's my rating. And I think I'm going to call it a night because I really need to cough right now. So, all right. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.